Hey, hey, hey. It's Wednesday, and welcome to the Green Believers Podcast. We are making it in 2020, y'all. I'm calling this year a wrap, and we're going to start preparing for the wonderful blessings ahead of us for 2021. But if you just tuned in, you are listening to the weekly podcast for the everything you need to know about cannabis. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So we are making it through this new cannabis legalization process in California and all across the country. And we are also educating, empowering, equipping social equity candidates to get their fair share of this new industry, economic opportunity, help us to drive an economic ecosystem for those individuals, families most harmed by the war on drugs. So we know that means a lot of black and brown people, right? So we got a full house here. We are in beautiful, sunny Inglewood, California at the Accelerated Radio Studios. Check us out. You can download all our podcasts and a lot of others too. Get great information here. This is the top homegrown podcast station studio in Southern California, and you can check out our website, thegreenbelievers.com. Thegreenbelievers.com. Hit us up on the IG and let us know what kind of cannabis, hemp, CBD, and any other types of information tips that you want to get. If you have some questions about forming your corporation, we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But we have some Whitey Enterprise crew is here today. So you guys know that Mr. Steve Robinson, and we fondly call him Whitey. The Whitey Enterprise is our partner in the Green Believers Cannabis Technical Assistance Program. He's our partner. They help us prepare, work with those individuals that are going from illegal to legal. We all know that cannabis has been illegal for a long time. We recently started this legalization process, and Whitey and his team have been helping us. So he's got some of the young men who have already made that transition, and they've got products and services. Even in the COVID, we're still innovating, creating, and sharing. So I want to invite Whitey to jump in and introduce these gentlemen here and tell us what they're going to be doing. What are these guys up to? What are you guys up to?
Hey, how you doing, Cheryl? I know it's a great day. Oh, I know it's a great day. And I must say, I brought some talent with me today. I brought Jelly, he a grower. I brought Vince. He happened to be a great grower, and he knows so much about CBD.
Jelly, Vince, a grower.
And I brought the storyteller himself, Mr. Hardhead, Mr. Know-It-All. You got it. He's doing something special. Yeah. He's dealing with Hugh Jackson right now, and it's gonna be an adventure what we're going through. And I got the queen of the talk show of the cannabis world, Miss Cheryl Branch, my ace, my only boss that I ever had in my lifetime. And
that is not true. You still have a wife, okay? You still have a wife. I don't forget that part. Okay.
Hey, the only thing I can say
know who I got to
now,
negotiate with when I need a board meeting.
she just a dictator. She's just a dictator. She's not a boss.
Well, we're so glad you know that, sir. We appreciate you. What a role model.
So here we are once again. I'm talking about social equity, though. And the most important thing about social equity is bringing the community together, because they've been against it for so long. And once you do something like that, it's special in the black community, where we could sit back and create new businesses. And the social equity is not alone on this venture. We talking about CBD oil also. And we just trying to make sure that we bring the best out of the people in the community who is ready to take this giant-sized step. And Cheryl herself had created a new field for everybody to come into. And today is one of those great days. We're going to talk about CBD. We're going to talk about social equity. We're going to talk about crime stories. We're going to talk about Hugh Jackson. Yes, Hugh Jackson, the football coach, used to be for the Cincinnati Bengals. We're going to have a conversation around him also. And some kind of way, we're going to bring in the health fair thing where we can get you guys back on track to enroll for health care, because I think it's like the January 20-something.
I think it is. It's January, but we will. I'll give out the phone number and the email address where if you want to get your health care, if you don't have it yet, you need it right now. We're in a health pandemic, so even if you have it, it would be a great time to revisit the insurance that you have. So right after this show, thank you, Whitey, for plugging it. Right after this podcast, if you stay tuned to the network live, Dr. Vincent Anthony will be here, and he will be discussing health insurance and enrollment, and we'll share that information with all of our Green Believer listeners. So tell me about the CBD and the growing. Who grows? Tell me about that, and where are you growing? Are you growing hemp, or are you growing cannabis, marijuana? What are you growing, and then how do you get to the manufacturing and it becoming a nice CBD oil?
Well, we're going to turn this over to Jelly, since he's really into growing and he got different kind of strands. And the only thing I know about him is that he's great at what he do. And let me turn it over to Jelly so he can tell you a little bit about him.
Hey, people, what's going on here? Beautiful day here with beautiful people. Well, myself here, I got off into the growing because, I'm a veteran, PTSD and all these other little pains and everything. So I said, man, I got tired of, spending money here and there, buying everybody else's stuff. And then when you buy, you don't know what you're getting. So I said, I started researching and everything. I started studying, looking at YouTube, staying up late night, had to go to work. I said, man, let me try this out. So my first 10 I got was a little 2x2. So I got some little bud, some little seeds from a guy called Crop King up in Canada. So I started a little some growing, then I said, well, let me venture out. So I got a little bit more monies, and right now I'm sitting here with like 59 strains, and I done grew some pretty good stuff here, I could say myself. Would you agree, Victor?
Absolutely.
So, I like I said, I started studying that, and everything. I started getting better at it. But this wasn't my first rodeo. My first rodeo was growing outside. But now, that I can't grow outside, I don't have the space, so I went inside. Then I started looking up and everything. Like I said, kept researching. I said, hey, let me go to school. So I went to an online course here and got my cultivation degree and everything. So I've been trying out a little few things here.
Which school did you get your cultivation degree?
It was, God dog it, Green Media.
Green Media, awesome,
yeah,
awesome.
greenmedia.com, yeah. And like I say, they pretty reasonable. The course there is not as high as some of the others, I looked up and everything. And they do have people that do help you out. So if you have any problems and everything, you can either go online to their chat board, or you can ask, one of the counselors there or teachers. They'll help you out. But let's talk about some pretty good people that's in the industry. Kyle Kussman is one of them, and they got a couple more guys. I can't think of the name now. But like I said, once I got that and everything, I never looked back. I've been growing, and right now I got 14 different strains that's out right now that I'm dealing with, and got some more in the mix. So
you're growing at your own house, or
Yes.
because it's not a legal licensed cultivation. You're not doing commercial growing.
No.
You're doing this. So I just want to clarify that for our listeners. This is an example, because in California it's legal to have and grow at least 6 plants at your house.
Exactly.
Each individual can do up to 6. So this is awesome that Jelly has figured out a way. He went to school, he qualified himself, and now he's growing his 6+ plants, I guess, and you have different strains, and it's working.
yes, it is. It is.
I love it. That's so you going from outdoor to indoor. What would you say are some of the biggest differences from an outdoor grow than an indoor grow?
What I found out is dealing with the lights, the spectrum. Nothing can ever matches the sun. The sun gives off so much different, looms and everything and spectrums that we can't even, try to, copy it. So with the grow, you got to look at, study and research, your lights and everything, which light's going to kick out for, the area you need, and how many different looms, and how many, I can't think of the other word right now, but you want to make sure that you get the closest possible to the sun. And the one I found is 3,500, close to 53 is good, what I use on my lights. And I have no problems there. I had got my lights from Mars Hydro. They pretty decent and everything. So I've been working with them, and they've been producing some pretty nice buds for me.
That sounds good.
Have you ever tried Indigro? I'm just curious. It's one of the brands that's courting us, trying to get us to adopt that. So I was just curious if you had ever tried it.
That's the first time I ever heard of them. What is that, a company or what?
It's a similar social equity candidate in San Diego. Daryl from the 151 Farmers, he uses an aquaponics model. So he has a closed system in his growing, and he's growing both outside and inside.
Yeah.
And so he made these, his regular day job, he was an engineer, electrical engineer. So he took some different parts, and it's really weird how he did it, but it works, and he created this thing. It's Indigro lights.
Yeah.
So I was just curious if you...
Well, if you got the
too
information
see
on him,
that.
let me, research him up, check him out, and see what he got going,
I will. I'll share that
Each
with
one
you.
teach one, most
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I think you would like it. It's what you're saying is right on. I think you got to
But
know
you know
that
what
power.
I did find out, though? I had one strain, and I told my boy, let's try this outside. And this sucker took off because it was sativa. Sativas get real huge. And he was like, man, this almost at the top of the garage. I said, man, quit playing with me. He sent a picture of it, and I was like, she looking nice. And she threw us a nice pound. And it was so good that his wife was like, baby, I thought you said this was sativa. He started laughing. He said it is. And she was so like, she thought it was
So
like
tell
an
me,
indica.
what is sativa again? I still don't
Okay,
know.
sativa.
What is that again?
It's more like, you look at the leaves on the sativa. Sativa leaves are longer.
Okay.
Sativa can take more heat than indica can. Indica's is a short, stubbier plant too. It doesn't get that big like sativa. Sativas get tall and huge. Then you have the, I can't think of the other ones, rugerals or something like that to that nature. I might be not pronouncing right, but they happen like your autoflowers. It don't take that much time to grow. And that's what I found is really happening too. Autoflowers, you can get quicker and get done faster than, doing with your regular, your other plants here, because autoflowers 2 months.
Okay.
Your other phenols take around about 4 or 5 months, And sativas most definitely take the longest. Oh, gosh. That's like going through a pregnancy with your girl there. It takes long there.
You got the nursery.
Yeah, man, you got to stay with them babies.
Well,
there.
that's the course of life. God created those rules. 9 months. 9 months is the benchmark for
That's
life, right? And if you can do it faster than God, then you are in position, man. You're going to be the man on top.
All right. So let me go to Victor. Victor, tell me about what you're searching right now, because there's so many things on your mind. I looked at your tablet, and I couldn't even comprehend where you was going in this adventure, but I'm going to open the floor, and you can tell us a little bit about it. How that sound?
Well, first of all, I'm more into the pharmacology, and I've come up with my system. I kind of know if you give me information on the percentage on the plant, I can tell you what kind of success you're going to have with it. I'm a master blender, which I've been teaching for 5 years now. I have students that are actually doing quite well. Kristen is she's one of my prodigies.
Okay.
But my use of cannabis oils and CBD oils, I do a lot of case studies, and I have one that I think is one that's more interesting, I think, for most people. It was a little Honduran baby born with a lot of contaminants in her body. It's called PKU, and that is a genetic disorder which you get small babies, they turn yellow and stuff like that, and I knew exactly what the baby needed, and having to talk to the mother, trying to get her to do what I was asking her to do. But the baby, if untreated, would be very small, not very much intelligence. They just basically waste away because the body just can't. There's no substance to the body. So I grabbed out all the stuff that I have in my clinic stuff that I have, and I used to carry quite a bit of stuff. But I gave all the medicines to the mama. The mama breastfed the baby. Okay. The baby now is 2.5 months old. She's far ahead of just about any child I've ever seen with this. She knows that she's a little dancer.
Mm-hmm.
She knew how to work an iPhone as of 1.5 years. Hello, goodbye, very appropriately, and she just figures out things real quickly. But most importantly is that she's very, very healthy. The genetic dysfunction is still there, but it's under control.
It's manageable.
Very manageable, and with very, very small amounts for children.
For children, and coming through the mother as an infant. So
Yes.
it's like pediatric disease management.
Yes, that's
Right?
Yeah. I have a lot of background in neonatology and infant care. Quite a bit of things that I actually know medicine on. But more importantly, you can actually do the same thing with adults, or if they can't feed or whatever. This is where you give them other avenues of trying to get the CBDs into them.
So I got to recruit him for my research project. We just recently won, I'm so happy to say, a research grant from the State Bureau of Cannabis to do cannabis research.
Congratulations.
Man, like that's, who am I, right? I'm just a navel hair,
No.
and we did it. And so we're going to get to define.
I started with cannabis as a child when I was 10 years old. My mother, she was a horticulturist, so we grew a lot of stuff, and she would tell me what it was and what it was good for and stuff. She never said it was cannabis; it was just a plant. And so I grew up with that. I knew how to take care of it, and I know what to do with it. Now, more importantly, having had the experience of teaching physicians, postgraduates that I taught were 5, 6, and 7s. These are the ones that get out to go do their business.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of education as far as for them to do that, matching what you have in CBD oils to complement cannabis oils is really what's going to make people happy, your body wise. Because if your body's under stress, you cannot metabolize very much stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So once you relax the body, then you can start metabolizing.
So important.
I'm a true witness to
research.
that because I was having pain from an accident I was in. I got hit by a truck New Year's Day. It was crazy. So I met Victor one day going to get some supplies, and he knew automatically that I was a grower. And he told me about the CBD oil he had.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm telling y'all, I took the oil, and a lot of my pain was, totally just lowered to the point where it was manageable. And it does work.
So this medical component for how we use cannabis is why we got involved in this business. We come from a prison ministry background, so we're a bunch of faith folks. We want to live out our faith in our life. We've already been criminals and gangbangers and trouble starters. Now we're getting into good trouble, right?
Yes.
So that's how we got into this, and this medical piece is what attracted me because so many of the older adults I talked to in the churches, that's what they asked for. They were less concerned about the stigma and all of that, but they were like, Cheryl, if you can use this platform to help us get better medicine, better pharmacology that isn't killing us, because if you take it for your liver, it'll throw out your lung, so they're very aware of that, but we didn't know how to do it. We didn't know how to solve that. So this, and having subject matter experts like yourself,
Hey, Cheryl, let me say this.
helpful.
They've been knowing since the beginning of time about cannabis. But the thing is, our government had pulled away from it because they didn't want it. They couldn't control it. It's a herb that grows wild. And whatever something our government can't control and can't really make the money on, they're going to tuck it away under the rug. They don't want us to know about it. But now that it hit the light, now everybody knows cannabis is the way to go.
Well, I think that's why it's so important, and I value the Whitey Enterprise, Steve Robertson, the Whitey Enterprise. Somebody was listening to our podcast and said, well, who's the white guy named Whitey? Why are you, Cheryl, why does he let you call him Whitey? Somebody asked me that, so I was like, okay, I got to start saying his name because I wonder who else is listening. And someone randomly,
not white.
Right, I said, well, he's not a white guy. He said, well, I wouldn't know that listening. I was like, wow, she's calling the guy Whitey. So Whitey, we might have to give you a new name in this area. He light skinned though, y'all. He can pass.
But cannabis is something special, and it takes a whole lot of understanding and patience. Like you was just speaking of, you were talking about cannabis. It's been here for a long time, but in 1955, the United States took it off the market because the pill industry asked them, because the pill industry, Johnson's and Tylenols and aspirin, they was in the position to put pills in people's hands to sell pills. So what they did, they put hemp plants and marijuana as a Schedule I drug, so they could take a natural herb that is made with olive oil and a plant with no side effects, as you do not put anything with it. And with me, by me saying these things, is like I'm telling the community that, like Charles Barkley, Shaq, Kenny Smith, and all of them said, we can play basketball again. We can walk around, because we can just rub some oil inside on our legs, or if we have cramps on our hands, we can rub some oil, and all those cramps just disappear, and they be back functioning as they used to, because the medicine is a pain relief. And with this pain relief, it do so many different things for the community. And as we've been experimenting on a way to bring it to fruition for soda pops and other ingredients, we came up with a new pitch where you can come to Whitey's Enterprise. We at 3224 South Central, and in the month time you'll be able to buy soda pops, or you'll be able to buy juices. And we already have bubble baths and you name it, and the commercial will be out in a few days that will show you what CBD is all about. And you will see some beautiful young ladies telling you it's also in the pet community. This is what we do in the black community. We sit back and do the things that other people have no idea how to do, unless they come down here and steal one of us and take them to their company.
That's
and
our magic.
Hey, take
That's
care
our
of us.
magic.
So as we sit here and just look over the landscape, we telling them, America, when you get an opportunity and you see Whitey's Enterprise, and you see the website, www.whitey's Enterprise, you need to go to that website and look at all the ingredients that we have. We have so many different products that can help you with your pain. If your feet is hurting, you can go in there and grab some bath soap and soak your feet. And when you walk away, all your pain is going to be gone. There's going to be so many new adventures that you're going to be able to deal with on the Whitey's Enterprise and the product that we have, where it's like Victor said about the other patient, a little bit of help can take you a long way without a side effect. And you can really function in the right manner without being on pills like fentanyl and all those other pills that they're using to just make you addicted to it. But CBD oil, you would never be addicted to it, because it's an herb that comes from out the ground with no chemicals, no side effects, and you need to try it. And again, this is what we do every day. We sit back and we try to understand, and then we take a couple other steps, because it's in our nature to do the things that we do. So we end up having people like Ira. Ira sat back and he just scanned the landscape and tried to figure out how he can tell a story that's worthwhile. And when you find yourself telling a story about a great black American who walked through the NFL and then did so many different things, and he became a head coach, all I could do is look at Ira and start smiling like, you talking about, he like, yeah, but I said, let you tell the story, because I'm finished with this one. So you tell it, Ira.
Thank you, Whitey. I appreciate the the airways. Thank you, Cheryl. Beautiful day in Los Angeles. My home is in North Carolina, but I'm chasing a story right now on a football coach, well known out of Los Angeles. His name is Hugh Jackson. Grew up as Huey Jackson, or Hugh Jackson, from the west side of Los Angeles, and he was recently the head coach of the Cleveland Browns until 2018, and before then he was the Oakland Raider coach, actually the last coach hired by Al Davis, owner Al Davis. And I believe if Al Davis hadn't have died, hadn't have passed, Hugh Jackson still would have been the Las Vegas Raider coach now. Al Davis loved him that much. And if you know the history of Al Davis, he held on to coaches for decades. You know, John Madden, Flores, Gruden, and then he hired Hugh Jackson. Well, I approached Hugh Jackson about his biography because from the outside looking in, it was just a very interesting story, and I didn't know how interesting it was until I started investigating. That's why I'm in town now. I'm interviewing teachers and coaches and teammates of his over the decades, and I'm about through with all of the interviews that I need for this book. And actually, I've started this book about almost 2 months ago, and it should be finished end of January, beginning of February.
Mr. Ivor, how many books you have so far, sir?
This is number 11. This is number 11 in 5 years.
That's what I'm talking about.
I started writing in 2015. My first book is called Slap Me If I'm Lying. It's on Amazon. All my books are on Amazon and Borders. And it's Ira Tillman, IRATILLMAN. And I started out as a true crime writer. And my first books were about true crimes that have happened. The shooting of Detective Thomas C. Williams out of North Hollywood. He was a robbery detective who may have been the last police officer targeted for assassination in the United States. He may have been the last police officer that was willfully targeted. I mean, conspired against. It was a plan. It was a hit. And that happened in 1985, on the Halloween night of 1985. So I wrote that story. It's called The Emancipation of Voltaire Williams, and it's out on Amazon. It's a page turner. Everywhere I go, people tell me how they can't put it down, and throughout the system, throughout the penal systems, federal or state, they tell me that there's lines for my books when they come through there. Yeah. So my latest
got
book.
lines, Ira. You got
lines.
lines.
I have.
All right now.
I have hold up. I have a friend of mine in the system. Mm-hmm. He tells me that they have one book. It's called Super Thieves. One of my books is called Super Thieves. And he said there's 3 guys reading them at the same time. So one guy has it in the morning, he gives it to another guy, and then he gives it to another guy at night. And there were 3 guys on the book at the same time.
Right on.
Just in different areas of the book, I guess. You know. So, but I'm hoping that I could be the next Donald Goines of the penal system, or Iceberg Slim. If I got to be that popular and my reads turn out to be that interesting, my legacy would be handed down to my daughters. I have 5 daughters, and they'll reap the rewards of the popularity. And
It'll happen.
But my latest book, it's on the life of Hugh Jackson. I haven't released the title yet, but I do have a title for it. And he is probably one of the most interesting characters that I've had a chance to investigate. He is not your run-of-the-mill football coaching story. This is not going to be Bill Parcells or Bill Walsh or Belichick type of coaching book. And I tell people, I was on another Airways. I tell people that you're not going to learn how to coach football by reading this book. It's going to read like a true crime book, even though there's no crimes involved. It's just how it's going to read. So women, children, young people, older people, they're going to be interested across the board, whereas a regular coaching book would be interested only to other coaches and players. This is going to read more like a true crime, and I'm going to describe it as Boys in the Hood meets New Jack City meets Remember the Titans.
Right.
That's what, if you put those three movies together, this is what you have in the Hugh Jackson story. And
That's awesome.
just one tidbit, he is, now he's been a head coach twice, which is a rarity amongst black coaches. But he is probably the only, and he is the only football coach, head football coach in the NFL to ever come out of Los Angeles, which is
Saying a lot.
which is different. Now, and I consider Los Angeles, inner city Los Angeles. You encompass downtown to the beach. Greater Los Angeles, yeah, if you incorporate Orange County, Santa Barbara, Ventura, the San Bernardino Riverside, yeah, you've had other coaches come out of those communities. But within the city of Los Angeles, he is the only person to ever ascend to operate a $1 billion organization under his guidance that's come out of the city of Los Angeles, and that's a big step because those things are handed down. Those jobs are handed down, fathers to sons and uncles, and certain trees that are involved. And he's under now Mariucci. He said Mariucci's at the head of his tree, and him and John Gruden, they came up together. Ironically, they both got their first jobs together at the University of Pacific, and they both wound up being the head of the Raider organizations at different times. And of course, Gruden is there now. But none of them have Hugh Jackson's story. Hugh Jackson knows gangsters. Okay, he's grown up. He's grown up with well-known and around well-known gangsters that we can throw out there: Cadillac Bobby and the Harris brothers. And no other head coach has ever been in in the NFL.
They have not walked that yard.
And hasn't walked that yard and haven't
that talk.
and he came off he didn't even have to think about it. When I mentioned, because he told me he grew up on 52nd and Hoover, and I said, no, I said Cadillac Bobby's from over here. And as soon as I said that, he said the Harris brothers. I said, okay.
He was talking about Mike
Yeah.
and Bob.
I
But
said,
you know, the crazy thing about it, he grew up on 52nd. I grew up on 53rd. So we so far intertwined with each other.
Exactly.
We just went opposite ways.
Right.
But life is so good, and that's what you get out of it. So when we look at Cheryl, we understand why Cheryl is here with us, because
Right.
she's here to bring the better good out of us.
I'm so excited. We got a book publishing company. We got media and video. We can turn these stories. We have a medical health professional that's going to help us create the pharmacological profile, the protocols for cannabis wellness. I mean, like, we got Jelly over here. He's going to inspire a whole new... Pardon?
With exercise.
With exercise. I mean, this
Pulmonary-
is amazing.
With pulmonary restriction disease.
I can't wait for you to meet Dr. Anthony when he gets here.
It's just
I have all kinds of stuff.
We got to get you in. He runs what they call an IPA, the Physicians Association. So he has a whole group of doctors, and he runs that network. And we just started working together because he wants to join this team as well, and he's got a successful, thriving practice, and he sees a way in. And so we decided to put the medical health with the cannabis and the business development. We've got authors. We're telling stories. Like, this is a project we could raise $50 million with all of with all of this that we're doing. That's where I'm focused. Like, we're gonna have a fund. We need our own fund.
I'm targeting nurse practitioners.
Well,
mostly.
one of his practitioners is one of our co-hosts here, so I can connect you with her. Her name is Frances. And then what they're connected to also is King Drew, which is one of our local black, one of the only HBCUs here on the West Coast, if we give them that title, But they have that nurse practitioner caregiver program, and that's what we've all been trying to link to the cannabis, because this older adult population, first of all, they have money to spend. Legal cannabis is not cheap. Okay. And so, they have money to spend. And then if we can use the other derivatives like the CBD oil, and we're manufacturing other things from the hemp plant, then I think we could create our own real good, thriving system. We have our legal partners, Go Verde. They have created the distribution, the legal distribution, the legal cultivation, the legal manufacturing. So they have enough space where our other subject experts can come into the legal spaces and help produce those products. So we've accomplished that in this short time, and they have permanent licensing. So now we're just growing out these businesses and finding the right allies to really hook up with, so we can create some tax-paying businesses. Righty is right. It's expensive, and creating those kind of businesses that can thrive is what really tests the team. Because when you go from illegal to legal, if you can't figure out how to get over that hump, that I actually got to make $3 to make a profit versus $1 for dollar. When you're illegal, it's dollar for dollar. You can count, it goes in. But until you can figure out how to make that work in a tax-based market, then we're always under the radar. We never get to really experience the full empowerment, of what it means to be successful on this planet Earth, let alone in America. So that's where this marriage, I'm having to, because you can't make people do what they don't do. So you just have to find a way to link. So we're that glue. That's what Green Believers is. We're that glue. We're the network weaver. We're going to find a way to create those bridges above ground, underground, so that the whole ecosystem, and like a good 10-year plan, will be well on our way. So in the meantime, if you're local and you also want to order some of the products from the Go Verde, I encourage you. We've got our delivery site up now. I want to give that out. It's www.verdero, Verde is Spanish for green, VERDEROAD, verdero.com, and they are doing delivery. So reach out to them, hit that website up, support the social equity cannabis businesses.
Yes.
We worked hard to get here, and thank God for Whitey and Jelly and Victor and Ira, who are joining us, because they're going to help us to attract the estimated 70 million people of color and others in America that have some kind of criminal justice history. So imagine if we were able to get $1 from all of those individuals and just say, I got something on it because I remember the yard. I got $1 on it. I got $2 on it. My loved one didn't make it, but I'm going to send $5 in their name. Like that's the fund that you all are going to put together. We're going to make sure that it's managed so no one can say anything, and those are the resources. You all will be the fund management board that will decide whose businesses are worthy of this $50,000 investment, this $200,000 investment. That's what it's going to take in order for us to go from where we are now to really, running the streets, as they say. I mean, in the modern world, in 2021, not in 1975, they did it different. Streets were smaller and more manageable. Okay, but in 2021, you got to have a whole different mechanism to run the streets.
See, me and my team is so far in tune with what's going on, and the production company that we have invented in the last several months is getting ready to come to fruition right in front of everyone's eyes. And right now, when they talk about 70 million votes, people don't even understand the magnitude of 70 million ex-offenders walking in front of your face.
Power to the people.
And then they say, this re-entry. And re-entry is based on success, because you're coming back in society. And when you have 70 million votes and the people that you're looking at have a nice heart and they want to see you succeed, and they set back and they set up a program where when you come out, you can come over to the office, set in it, and hop on the computer and try to find you a job or your health care. This is what 70 million votes is all about for Whitey's Enterprise, the Green Believer, Lamb. 70 million votes. The network is what Cedric dreamed of. And we are getting ready to set out some new articles and asking you guys to be here to accept us and help us and donate or buy some T-shirts so we can make sure that when they come home from prison, they have somewhere where they can go to. They have somewhere where they can say, I don't want to go stand for 4 o'clock count anymore. It's the time in our lifetime where everybody is looking at the people who's coming home from jail saying, we want to give you a shot, but put yourself in a position to get this shot. And here go the Green Believers. We on 33rd and Central.
So in other words, Whitey, you giving the people what they want. You got to give the people what they want.
You know, in other words, I'm going to say it in the right manner. The people want something. And I'm just here to help them receive what they want. Because they tired of laying on that cold ground saying, hey, enough is enough. Give us an opportunity to get one shot. And if we get this one shot, we won't disappoint. Because every time you guys see us and we come home from jail, the only thing you want to do is pull us over, take us to jail, and give us a 12-hour lay down, and then they're going to violate us. But I hope this time alone, with the people coming home from jail, they let these guys and women just have an opportunity to sign up for a job so they can go get a job, so they won't be on Skid Row. And we're gonna advocate for this for the rest of this next year and the year after that, and we're gonna put together the necessary tools to help them meet what they're seeking. And they only seeking success and happiness out of life. So this is what the 70 million votes is all about, reaching out to the community, looking at everybody saying, hey, they already paid their dues. Why are you mistreating them all over again and making them repay or do what they already paid? So this is what we're really about. We're about helping each other. And if we help each other, it's like at this table, I can just turn my back on everybody and say, I got what I need. I don't need anybody else. But I refuse to do that.
Right on.
I'm from Whitey's Enterprise.
That's it.
I've been building and building and building my whole life since I was 13 years old. And when you build an empire and you know how to build it, and you look at the rest of the people and you say, hey, you don't have to lay on that cold ground. Here go a door and an opportunity. But, Jelly, you got to take advantage of the opportunity that I give you.
That's it.
Victor, you got to take care of yourself and take care of this opportunity. Ira already know how we fall. There ain't no way in the world I'm going to leave him behind. If I go on national TV, he's going on national TV. So, in other words, I may be a little bitty dude, but I can open some doors for a whole lot of you big dudes. And you guys big dudes to me, because I'm going to stay over here and look at you guys growing further, and life's going to be so much better.
Yes, sir.
So this is the only thing I'm seeking for you guys to do what's needed, so nobody can say that you failed at your craft because you was ready to do your job and you didn't let those people turn you away.
I think it's so important because this is a multifaceted industry that we're building. It's a multi-layered enterprise. And as much as we have these tax-paying businesses and ancillary, we also have this advocacy and legal battle that Whitey is talking about. Right now, in the city of Los Angeles, they have the open licensing applications for delivery, distribution, manufacturing. You can apply right now. And if you are a social equity applicant, you go first. So this is a temporary prioritization process, right? Giving some equity and procurement from the government, which, we lost that in Prop 209. It's not about affirmative action anymore. It's about equity. So we need an opportunity to compete because the big companies won't work with us unless they're forced to because of what you talked about, how the government, how our capitalism, how America works. So this is our time. We've been pushing everybody. If you think you got game, not even if you really have it, if you think you do, work with us, work with Go Verde so that we can help you get your applications in, because we got to get them and hold them while we can. And the non-social equity applicants, I was just reading the article, came out late November 18th. There's 6 plaintiffs that have filed suit against the city. And it's all about how come the social equity applicants get to go first right now. And we've already waited 2.5, almost 3 years to go. And now that we've got an opportunity in COVID, this is fantastic. If we can get 10 social equity applicants to submit for delivery. Delivering your stuff.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and it's like, this is amazing, and I just want to say that. So that's why we need you. We need to mobilize the troops. We need to make sure that they have clarity about the issues, and we've helped them to learn how to do this listening campaign and read and study the policies. We need to be continuing these reading circles. Can you imagine a group of men with criminal history that are sitting around having reading circles and developing their critical thinking? What kind of black magic could we unleash then? You know, I mean, I'm just saying, like, those are the stories to tell. We've got reading circles going on in prison. So it's people helping people, right, telling the stories, our stories. And then what we know, too, in every wealthy society, art and culture and media is front and center. They spend 50% of their time art and culture, right? Mm-hmm. In poor communities, we never get that. So there's something about what happens when you have access to art and culture and media. It's a inspiration. You can't engineer hope, but you can certainly tell a story, show an image, walk someone through a play, and they can be inspired to find that in themselves and push. And that's the power that we're going to bring to this underclass population, that we're going to expose. And that's why this technology, this time is so important. And you men on the front lines helping to lead this effort is going to make they're not going to listen to me. I'm just some girl that speaks proper English, you know, from Orange County. Who's that? You know, I mean, what do you know, Branch? You know, I don't know the difference between a sativa, a Viva, or whatever, all that other stuff you said.
We'll get you hip, though.
Right.
But she's from Orange County, right?
Where the good stuff at?
I got a saying here.
The great thing about it, that she being from Orange County,
Yeah,
that she's
I got
association
something
of
to say.
minds.
Okay, go ahead.
Right.
Victor.
You know, education has always been my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I have quite a bit of education. But life isn't very sweet without it.
That's right.
You think really hard on that.
Yeah.
Anybody who thinks they got something, go for it.
Yes.
That you be the decision
scared.
maker.
Yes.
Don't be scared.
Go do it. Because I can tell you, I didn't learn how to read until I was in 4th grade.
Still don't know how.
Still don't know how to read.
You know something.
Yes, I do.
You figured
But-
out something here.
That's him. That's my boy.
But this is my buddy here.
Yeah, we got to give
But-
you some of our business cards, too. We got
I
our
want
business
some.
together.
I want to get you on our listings. I've got so many things, so Whitey's going to have to share.
But
And,
I have classes that if somebody wants to get into that,
We do. We want you to
Yeah.
teach on our platform.
Everything,
Yeah. We do it on the 4th Wednesdays every month. We're on Zoom now. We used to do it in person, but we had to stop since March, of course. But now we're doing it on Zoom, and I will have a platform that we're launching, like a Teachable, where people can go online. It's like going to school, and they can see everything, just like the class that Jelly took. We will have that as well, and I would love to have you as one of our instructors, and we'll actually have some money now because we won our grant. we can start rising on how we're paying. We're creating jobs. I mean, I love this because the grants really mean that we create jobs. That's what we know how to do. We're job creators, and I would love to get you on the team to help us do this whole crew here, Whitey. They got to teach some classes starting in January.
That's what we do.
Oh man, this is so exciting. So we got about 2, 3, 5 minutes left,
Oh, man.
and
Well,
I want to see
I
if you guys
accept
have
the
some.
I accept the opportunity.
Thank
you very
you.
much.
I would
He can't
definitely
wait for the
follow up.
opportunity, Cheryl. He can't wait. You just don't
I
know.
can't either.
Hey,
I mean, I'm
I'll
trying
tell
to
you,
be
this-
measured.
We call him
but-
Mr. Magoo because he be on top of things. Victor here, when I met Victor, I said, man, who's this little guy here? And we talked. We hit it off so deep. We've been partners ever since. And this here guy here, he comes over, he walks in, he goes looks at the tents, and he just gets so amazed at him. And then when we sit down and we try the quality of the smoke out, it's my boy. He be like, man. You know,
I'm so excited. We're getting ready to build a $100 million company. That was my vision. That's what I told Whitey. I want it all.
It can
I
be
don't want
done.
just a little piece. I think we have a product and service that is $100 million of revenue. We could employ 350 people, and then all of them will be hiring. You know, like I could just see it. So that's where we're headed. We need you guys. Thank you, Whitey. You always come through for us.
Well, in life,
Man.
we said
He told me no, you guys know. When I first, our offices are neighbors. We're neighbors on the same block. So I'm trying to get into cannabis. I don't know what to do. So one of the millennial kids comes in, a 20-year-old I work with. I'm not sure if you want to do that. You need to go down and talk to Whitey. Well, who is Whitey? So he takes me down there, and I meet with him, and I said, and I'm telling him what I'm doing, and I'm coming with my professional portfolio. Sir, let me show you my business plan, and you see that this is the return.
At least you
And he
had
was
it.
just like, no, I don't want to do that. I was just like, oh my God. So then next time I came, I brought food. I was like, okay, well maybe that didn't work, So go with some food. He took the food, but no, I'm not ready. And a couple of months went by, and then finally one day he came down to my office. He says, okay, I'm gonna help you. Because I literally was begging every day, like I'm coming back the next day. You're just not ready yet. And man, I see why, because they brought so much value to what we were trying to do, and it just helps me to understand. And I'm just super grateful. I'm very, very grateful.
One more thing here, I gotta give my boy Ira, shout out to my boy again. Me and Ira played college ball together. Ira used to hit so hard on the DBs that the coach said, you go over there with them linebackers, man. You hitting too hard. That's my boy. And just to see now, 11 books under his belt.
11 books.
Man, big
And they're
props.
good books.
Yeah,
I've
big
read a
props. Yeah,
couple
I'm
of
about to
them.
get a
He's a
couple of
good writer. The stories are riveting. I mean, because I don't know. I'm just like, dang, what happened? What happened next? Are these real
Got some
stories?
suspense, huh?
so,
I mean, the kind of jewel thieves they were. It was amazing.
I'm gonna say something today because we about to get out of here, but anytime someone walk in your office and say, look, I'm trying to be in the game, and you look down like, but you got to rethink it because the game has flipped.
Yep.
The game is not the same street game that we was in.
Mhm.
But when you grab someone and bring them in your circle, I want all you guys to understand that my life means so much to me, but you guys' life mean more. And I don't never want anyone to put their hands on one of you guys in this game because I'm gonna take it personal. So that's why I be so caught up in the people I be around because my heart be with them, and I want to make
It
sure
does.
that they're safe at
Really
each
does.
time. So I thank all of you guys for coming out here today.
Thank
And
you.
Cheryl, most of all, I trust you with my life.
Thank you.
guide
I
me
love
in the
you,
right
brother.
manner. And this is what's going on with life. So you guys do what you got to do and
Right
enjoy
on,
this
buddy.
life. And have a nice day.
Thank
We'll
you
be
guys
back
for
when-
tuning in to the
Thank
Green
you for having us,
Believers.
Cheryl.
Check
Thank
us
you,
out.
Mighty, too.
You're so welcome. Thank you. This was an awesome panel. Download this podcast. You're going to want to listen to this again. AcceleratedRadio.net or check us out on our website, thegreenbelievers.com. And we'll be back next week bringing you everything you need to know about cannabis. We out of here. Green Believers.